All right, well, I wasn't going to do a video today, but then I saw this lovely Twitter thread posted approvingly by Thabiti Willi, and I read it, and I was just completely dumbfounded. So the fact that Thabiti retweeted it, it surprises me even to this day, although I'm starting to realize that probably shouldn't be surprised by this anymore. Anyway, this woman, Hannah Anderson, is retweeting a New York Times article that is saying why are blacks why is the African American unemployment rate so low and historic lows under the Trump administration, but all the other metrics for racial progress failing. Now, I'm not going to read this article, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. But I would imagine that these other metrics for racial progress, it's probably very problematic, put it that way. But anyway, and her comment on this starts like this: let's not forget that under slavery, African American unemployment was 0. I just have no words for this. I'm trying to think of what to say. This is just preposterous, comparing African American slavery, chattel slavery, one of the worst things ever perpetrated in humanity. Stealing people from their homes, ripping them from their homes, selling them, and bringing them over the Atlantic Ocean. Many of them dying, and then when they get here, treated like beasts. This is one of the most horrible. And she's comparing that to African American employment today. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. She says, the question is not whether a person works, but whether they can benefit from the work that they do. If society is structured against this, unemployment numbers mean nothing. What is she even talking about? Do black people benefit from the work they do? Yes. Absolutely. Objectively so. Because they buy things that they prefer to have rather than the money. Every exchange, every time you buy something, you're getting a better standard of living than what you had. Because what you're saying when you buy something is, I'd rather have that item than this money. And so when I give you this money and you give me the item, I'm better off than I was before. And so to say that they don't benefit from the work they do is just an absolute, shockingly, economically ignorant, ridiculous thing to say. She says, when people who hold racist views celebrate low unemployment in the very groups they disdain, you can bet they aren't concerned about their holistic flourishing. I'm going to turn this into a drinking game, too, every time I read flourishing. I don't know who she's talking about here. Maybe she's talking about actual racists, but I would assume she's actually talking just about general Trump supporters. They're holding racist views and celebrating low unemployment. That is slander. That is a lie. At the end of the day, she says, a person's ability to benefit from their work is directly tied to how we perceive their humanity. Do they have the freedom to serve God and their own families, or do they serve us? What is she talking about? There is no slavery anymore. Welcome to 2018. Blacks aren't enslaved anymore. What are you talking about? Oh. Let me calm down. Let me calm. Every time I put this Ethiopia soccer team shirt on, I get angry. How can you say that that blacks don't have the freedom to serve God? In what way? I'd like to see specifics on that one. And how can you say that blacks don't have an opportunity of freedom to serve their own families? I'd like to see some receipts on that. You can't just say things like this. This is just ridiculous. You say these things like it's obvious. It's not obvious. I can't even think of a single way where blacks are not free to serve God or free to serve their families, and they do serve white people. I can't think of a single way. I'd like to see some receipts on that. She says, when we do not see people as being made in the image of God, called to work and authority over their bit of this earth, we will treat them like animals and slaves. Again, show me the receipts. What are you even talking about? Show me one place where society treats black people as not in the image of God. I'm not talking about individual people. Of course, there are individual buffoons out there that are racist and they don't think blacks are made in the image of God. Those are idiots. I'm not talking about the idiots. I'm talking about everyday people who aren't racist, who love black people and respect them and all of that stuff. Who treats blacks as animals and slaves? Who does it? She says, make no mistake, you can't simultaneously hold racist views and operate justly in the marketplace. Again, who are you talking about? Because here's the thing, operating justly in the marketplace works like this. Hey, I've got this book here, and I'd like to sell this book for a certain amount. And then you say, well, I'd like to have that book, and I have a certain amount. And then, freely, with no coercion, nothing, I give you the cash, you give me the book, and everything's fine. Name one place where that doesn't happen when it comes to black people. Because I'm a Latino, right? I have never, ever said, hey, sir, I'd like to buy your product. And then the person goes, well, I'm not so sure. Let me check your skin color to make sure I'll sell it to you. Now, I'm not saying that never happens. But if it did, that would be national news. It would be roundly condemned. And that business would be over overnight. Business would be ended overnight. That used to happen back in the day. That doesn't happen anymore. Too many of us believe that the market is neutral, that a free market means something akin to a blank slate. But a free market is simply a marketplace with limited intervention, a marketplace that reflects the values of society more immediately. It does not mean a fair market. That's very true, but I'd like to see some evidence that the marketplace that we have is not fair. It's not a free exchange, because I'm pretty sure that if a black person wants an iPhone, they can get an iPhone. And they do, because black people have a ton of spending power. See, this is the thing. All that to say, here's what she said. All that to say, I'm sorry, it's entirely possible to participate in the marketplace and still not receive full reward for your work because of larger social forces that leave a free market unchecked. She says, all that to say, unemployment does not necessarily predict flourishing. See, this is the problem. This is the problem. What Hannah doesn't seem to understand is that black people in the United States have tremendous spending power. They have more spending power than the majority of entire countries in the world. That is an amazing gift of the free market. That's an amazing gift of capitalism. If all black people pooled all of their spending, all their money, all their wealth and spending power, they pooled it together, I don't know the exact statistic, but it would be more money, more spending power than almost every single country out there. There's a few that they would be under, but almost every single. Let me show you this video. This is a guy named Boyce Watkins. He and I would not agree on these racial issues in general, but I love this guy's channel. In fact, I recommend you watch it, because this guy, he wants to, he supports reparations, he supports all this stuff, he believes in white supremacy, but this is why I like him so much. His solution is, look, I think we should get reparations, but they're never going to happen, and so here's what we need to do. Black people, we need to use the tools of capitalism. We need to own our own progress, and we can do it because capitalism is great, and we can start investing in things and changing our behavior. Look at what he says about black spending power.
Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Financial Juneteenth and the Black Wealth Bootcamp. One of the things that I figured out over 20 years of teaching finance to college students is that black people have a hell of a lot of spending power. We have a lot of money at our disposal. They say that black people can't create jobs, but that's actually not true. We create a lot of jobs for other people because unfortunately we're in the habit of giving our money away. Well, how much spending power do black people have? About $1.1 trillion.
That's
now,
right,
that may not sound like a lot of money to some people, but let me put it into context to help you understand exactly how much $1.1 trillion actually is. With $1.1 trillion, you could buy 1,000 NFL football teams. You could buy 3,000 predominantly white universities all across the country. You could purchase the annual budget for 1.4 million charter schools across America. You could pay full tuition for an entire year at Howard University for 50 million people. You could build 854,000 community centers, and on top of that, you could buy NBC, CBS, and ESPN and still have $1 trillion left over. So when you look at black unemployment, and you see that black unemployment is typically twice as high as white unemployment.
I really do.
Black unemployment is typically right now about 10.4% compared to 4% for white Americans.
This is not a victim. That's why I like this guy. He's not a victim.
Why is it that we give away $1.1 trillion in spending power when that $1.1 trillion could, according to most economists, create 12.2 million jobs in the black community? So the point in all of this, the reason I'm telling you all of this, is because you have to understand one important fundamental fact. Your money is your power, and you do not give your power away.
That's what I'm talking about, man. See, that guy gets it. He understands it. Look, him and I don't see eye to eye on things. He thinks there's a racist under every rock. I disagree. But here's the point. He knows that despite that fact, even if there was a racist under any block, the system in the United States is set up in such a way that if black people pooled their money and started investing and spending differently and all these things, that it would be possible to raise themselves out. Because he knows it's happened in the past. You ever heard of, oh my goodness, what was it? Was it Black Wall Street? Or I forget what it was called. Anyway, look that stuff up, man. This is the thing. Hannah doesn't understand economics. She thinks that we're still in slavery. I don't understand why she thinks that, but it's absolutely shocking that she thinks that. She thinks that black people are in a similar position to they were in slavery. That is shocking, and I can't believe that Thabiti Abenwilli would promote this kind of nonsense. This is a lie. This is a lie. This breaks the commandment, you shall not bear false witness. This is false witness. Every one of these tweets was false witness. And Thabiti proves this, approvingly tweets this. I just don't get it. Anyway, I hope this is helpful. God bless.